Titles are an interesting way to get into even more description of what we're doing. And it's funny, we're all storytellers, right? And isn't our artwork basically a form of communication? It's kind of an energy. It's the energy of the piece to the energy of the end viewer. So it becomes this dialogue. And I know I'm from Maryland, somewhat the South, and there was a storytelling tradition around there, and my work is definitely stories. And it's funny, when I build these pieces, often, like this rabbit, this oversized rabbit, often I don't really know where the story's going to go, and sometimes the material really dictates to me who this is. And I realized when I was making this rabbit that he kind of had this punk haircut. He had a little bit of a kind of a military feel here. And one of my heroes, David Bowie, I realized that if David Bowie were a rabbit, this would probably be a portrait of David Bowie. So this piece is called Portrait of David Bowie as a Rabbit. Here's another example. When I turned 50, went to the Himalayas on a trek with a friend of mine. That was many years ago. And when he and I came back, I built this piece with these two dogs on it. And one dog, if you can see this, kind of hanging behind. The other dog is ahead. The guy hanging behind is me. I was in not as good shape as my friend. And so this piece is called The Trek of Gallifala and Saluda. And basically, it's a narrative about a story that I went through. I know with a lot of you that there's a whole backstory to what you're doing. It's kind of like reading a novel, seeing a character, and maybe he just appears for a little while, but I believe that a good writer has a whole backstory, and you feel that character really has weight to it. And so titles for me can sometimes be really elaborate, and the backstory can again be really elaborate. And it's often just a self-portrait. It's experiences that I've had. It's impressions that I'm feeling, and they come out in the work. And with the kind of expressionistic material I'm using, I really don't know ahead of time the feeling or the look of what this creature's gonna have when they're done, and that makes it really fun. And then I develop the narrative along the way. It would be interesting to hear from some of you what narrative you develop for your work along the way.